Hello viewers, here is a Dimestore fan, likely from around the 1950s. This is kind of the 1950s equivalent to the Lasko 3733 today. Different physical form factor, but it's similar in concept in the sense that this was a very cheap, bottom of the barrel build quality fan, but it was also very affordable, so many people had them. These were sold under a plethora of different brands at the time, including store brands. The ones I've come across the most over the years would be Zero, Eskimo, McGraw, etc. I don't recognize what this one would have been. It's very worn off, but I'm sure somebody would recognize that logo. And it looks like the slogan was "Your symbol of quality," which is kind of ironic because this was really the complete opposite of quality. You know what? It might be Happy Home is what it, and that actually would make sense because there's a picture of a home. So this is probably Happy Home branded. These came in a couple of different sizes and form factors. This is an oscillating model and it has a 10-inch blade. There was also a smaller, I think it was a 6 or 7-inch blade model. Some of them oscillated, some of them did not. This uses a 2-pole shaded pole motor, which you can kind of see through the vents there. Surprisingly clean, all things considered. On the back of the unit we have what's probably a single speed switch. Yeah, it feels like a single speed switch to me. There's some corrosion in there, but it's still turning just fine. Here's our oscillation mechanism. The linkage looks like it's all intact, but it is a little bit loose, so some of the screws might need to be tightened and or replaced. I'm not too familiar with how these work, but I believe there is a way to disengage this, and it might be this. This might loosen it on the shaft or something, I'm not sure. It's not really interested in turning. This screw looks like it could fare to be tightened. You know, for what should be a fairly simple apparatus, that looks awfully complicated. Despite being a very cheap unit, it still has oil ports. There's one on the back, and there's also one on the front. So this is one of the differences in cheap stuff made 70 years ago versus cheap stuff made today. This at least still had some standard of quality and the ability to keep it serviced and maintained if you were so inclined to do so. Now these motors were very cheap and the bearings certainly wore out pretty quickly. I don't know if this was something like with the Marvin window fans where the servicing interval is a ridiculous 200 hours, or if these motors actually held up a decent amount of time if kept oiled. I'm just not familiar enough with these to be able to tell. The guard would have originally been chrome, and there actually is a surprising amount of luster to some of the spots, but it definitely needs a good cleanup. I don't know if the blades would have had a mirror finish to them as well. I think they're made out of aluminium. They have a very distinct sound to them. Yeah, they look kind of shiny on the back. They probably were a polished aluminium finish years ago. These came in a handful of different colors. This appears to have been like a light greenish color. And the paint has definitely seen better days, but it might clean up okay other than those rust spots. It does have a wall mounting slot on the back. And oh, there is some information here. I bet this information tag is rarer than the unit itself. I have not seen many of these tags. 115 volts, 60 cycles, 40 watts, model 101001. Very creative model number. Bears a UL listing, and it is made by McGraw Edison. So that's about all we need to know as far as the quality of the bearings are concerned. And I don't think that these things are thermally protected. Maybe the UL standards did not yet require that at the time. Probably didn't. And these always have these 3 rubber grommets on there, which are hard as can be now. And some of these will leave nice black marks on the table if you move it around at all. It's a very short cord on there, but this is kind of intriguing because this, I believe, would be a General Electric cord, and that's the infamous cord wrap on there. I'm surprised that something this cheap came with a General Electric cord. General Electric stuff was not bottom of the barrel by any means. Unless this is a newer replacement cord, that's a possibility as well. The wire is in pretty good condition for 70-something years old. Okay, let's go ahead and shut this on. I don't know if it's on or off. We're about to find out. It's off. Let's shut it on. It's got a pretty cool startup sounds to it. It's actually a lot more powerful than I was expecting. These units have a very, very distinct sound to them. One of the first vintage fans I ever had was a blue version of this. It was smaller though, it was non-oscillating. I think it was a Zero branded. And I distinctly remember that sound it makes, that, not the motor noise, but the air noise. Very, very distinct sound. It's in okay balance. Unfortunately, the oscillating mechanism is not in good working order. The shaft coming out is not even turning, so there's got to be something busted up internally. Perhaps that can be repaired, I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look. So as far as the power is concerned, it's 0.6 the amps, 48.5 the watts, a little bit above nameplate, but that might be just because of the discrepancy in the power. I'm going to get out a variac and I'm going to tone this down a little bit. The voltage has gone up a little bit over the years. It used to be a true 110. Now, you know, it's 120 to 125. So, let's see, power factor 0.68. It's not too bad for shaded pole. So I'm going to plug this into the variac here and we'll tone it down to 110 or 115. And let's see if it gets closer to the 40 amps, or the 40 amps, the 40 watts at that point. So we got 117 right now. It's a little low. So there's about 110 versus 120. There is a significant difference. So we tone this down to the 110. Now it's 41.6 the watts. So there's the difference between electricity 75 years ago and electricity today. And it's considerably quieter on the 110, but it is generally quite noisy. Let's get a reading of the audio level here. Try to keep this out of the wind stream. It's definitely pretty noisy. It's right around near conversation volume. But a lot of people didn't have an air conditioner yet when this was on the market, so it was better to use this and shout than to just sit there and sweat.